From family events to volunteer opportunities to community happenings, there is a lot going on in your community. Learn about all the possibilities and opportunities on this episode of Community Hotline.
Hi, and welcome to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel, and we're here at Metro East Community Media in East County. Tonight, we're going to start off with the Salvation Army. With us from the Salvation Army is a Corps Officer, Major James Sullivan. He has graciously agreed to be my guest tonight to talk about some of the things that are going on with the Salvation Army, and specifically what's going on this holiday season. So welcome. It's nice to have you back.
We're really glad to be here, Monica.
Good. I'm delighted. So the Salvation Army has a fairly new facility in East County. How long have you been at the location on Stark?
We've been about 3.5 years at 194th and Stark, and it's a beautiful facility.
It is. I still haven't been through it. I go by it all the time. I wave at you when I go by, but...
It looks beautiful in front, but it's only 1/3 complete.
So you have big plans.
We've got big plans. A capital campaign has already been underway, and we're this close to making the campaign successful.
Wow. So if people want to donate, I bet you'd be happy to take their donations.
You bet. We've got a lot of we really need to top off the campaign. It's a $3.3 million campaign, and it will allow the Salvation Army in East County to triple our services.
Oh, wow.
When we move from downtown Gresham on Robert Street, where we were for the past 25 or 30 years, when we move to 194th and Stark, the numbers of people that have been coming to us have just increased dramatically.
Really?
When you throw the economy and so many people out of work, there's just more people knocking on the Salvation Army's door than ever. And that new facility, phase 2, we call it, will include a full gymnasium for kids to come to.
Nice.
And we can have sports leagues. We'll go from handling about 50 kids a day all the way to 150 kids a day with all kinds of great stuff for the kids to do. And then also we'll be able to do a lot more social services for individuals that are in need. We'll have showers where a person off the street can just come in and take a shower. We'll have laundry where you can come and do your laundry. We'll have lockers where you can keep your valuables. And then we'll have a food program, a larger food program. We'll be able to do a senior meal program and lots of great stuff to serve the
good
community.
stuff planned. So what's the timeline for this?
Well, we'd like to break ground about a year from now. In our $3.3 million campaign, we're at just about $680,000 raised. But we have a donor who has said to us, we will give you $750,000 when you raise $750,000 in East County. So that would put us at $1.5 million.
Wow.
In addition, we have 3 foundations, and I can't tell you their names, but we have 3 large Oregon-based foundations who have said that they love our project and they'll fund us when we're halfway there.
Oh,
and so
wow. That's
with
wonderful.
the 3 foundations and our donor, and where we are now, we're less than $100,000 to get there.
That's amazing.
And then we'll be at $3 million out of the $3.3 million raised, and we'll be able to break ground and get this thing done. And East County really needs it. We're just this close to making it happen.
Yes, they do need it, and that's amazing. There's some really, really good agencies and organizations in East County that are working to help people that need it, that are they don't have enough food to eat or don't have a place to stay and that kind of thing. And the Salvation Army is huge in that area.
We're right in the exact space we need to be. I mean, the Rockwood community and the Salvation Army fit together perfectly. I mean, as soon as we came there, people were busting down our door.
I bet they were delighted.
We're just so glad to be there, and the community and the parents that come, that pick up their kids from our youth center, just love having us there.
Oh, I bet. You have several programs of that youth center, and you have a summer program and a school year program.
We have a school year program. The school year program is elementary ages from 2:30 to 6. So kids come after school, and they work on their homework first. They get a snack. Then they work on their homework for about an hour, or they have to read or work on their homework.
Okay.
And then we have someone goes around according to different areas. Some are working on math, some are working on reading, some working on spelling, etc. And then after they do the hour of education, then we have an hour of where they do different activities. We have music activities. We have the computer lab open. They have different things.
Do they
that they can be part of.
choose, or are they required to spend like?
No, they can
time?
choose which one they want to be part of. Like we have a dance group. We have a brass band. I don't. I lead the brass band.
Oh,
we have a brass
great.
band. We have guitar lessons and trumpet lessons and piano lessons and a girls group and a boys group and.
And what ages are these?
These are generally from first grade through 5th grade. Okay, and that's from 2:30 to 6.
Okay.
And after they're done in their growing area, then they get to go play, and they can use it. And they play foosball and video games and stuff for the last hour of the program. And then that program for elementary ages closes at 6, and there's usually about 40 to 45 there. Wow. Then at 6, the teen program starts, and the teen program goes from 6, generally 6 to 9, sometimes 6 to 8. It's for either one night it's for middle schoolers, one night it's for high schoolers, one night it's for both. One night it's Young Life, another night. So it's 5 nights a week, Monday through Friday, for at-risk teens.
Are these drop-in programs, or are they register for
They're
this?
drop-in programs. What you register, and then you can choose to go whether you want to go. Great. It's a $10 cost. So you sign your kid up as long as you are below the poverty guidelines, which 90% of the people in our direct community are. Then you can sign up for $10. You can go all year and find a safe place to go and study and hang out and be in a safe place. And the teens are there from about 6 to 9, and they just have a great time.
You get quite a few?
We get, on Monday night, it's Young Life, we have about 40 to 45, and then we have middle school night, then we have youth group night, then we have high school night, and then Friday night's a young adult night.
That's great.
So, just
That's great. A lot of good programs. So, capital campaign is going to really, really help that.
We need more space for all those activities to take place.
Now, holiday seasons are coming up. Salvation Army is known for the red kettle. Yep. So tell me what's going on with the kettle this year. You're going to be ringing the bell again, I assume.
We are ringing the bell at Salvation Army, and we are hitting the streets next week. Okay, so it starts off on Tuesday with our Red Kettle Kickoff, and that's at 194th and Stark for lunch. So you can come and be our guest for lunch. We'd love to have you.
I like that.
And anyone can come. You just got to RSVP.
Lunch.
Please call. It's a free lunch, but when you come for a free lunch, bring your wallet, because we are going to hit you up for your cash and your credit card information, and have you make a donation with a check, cash, credit card. And so we'll get a big start on the kettle season. We have 11 kettle captains, which are groups in the community. We have the Seroptimus group. We have several churches, Greater Gresham Baptist Church. We have people from all kinds of different communities that I gave them a kettle 2 to 4 weeks ago, and people have been carrying these kettles around town. I don't know if you've seen them. You see a person, lady get out of the car with a kettle, he's like, what's up with that? But she's raising money for the Salvation Army, and they're going to bring their kettles to that luncheon, and then we're going to have mayhem for about 5 minutes. We're going to top off the kettles, and dollars are going to drop from the ceiling. It's going to be so much fun. People are going to be grabbing the money and putting it in the kettle, and then open up their own wallet and filling it up, and then we're going to give awards to all the kettle captains on how well they've done, and give like Olympic-style medals. It'll be so much fun.
That sounds like fun.
And then on Thursday, kettles will begin at the Fred Meyer stores all around the valley, and then on Friday they'll begin to start everywhere.
And by everywhere, it's just
they're at most of the retail outlets. They're at Fred Meyer, they're at Walmart, they're at Albertsons, they're at Safeway, they're at a lot of spaces. Yep.
So you know what I like best when I talked to, I think it was when Major Sloan was here previously, we were talking about kids giving and how great that is that parents will give some money to kids, have them put it in the bucket, and explain to them what it is they're doing and why they're doing that, and what a great way to get kids started in volunteering and understanding that we have a responsibility to care for.
That's right. Kids are our allies because they're the ones that say, "Mom, can I put money in the kettle?" And most of the question we get about the kettle is a lot of people know about the kettle, but they don't know where the money in the kettle goes.
So why don't you tell me, James?
Well, I think I'm going to tell you. The money in the kettle goes, first of all, to support Christmas programs for families in need, this Christmas. Over the past 2 weeks, we've been accepting applications at our facility at 194th and Stark for Christmas assistance. Christmas
have
assistance.
you received quite a few?
About 600 families have applied.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, and what's the sad part is, for every family that applies, there's about 3 or 4 more that we don't have enough resources to be able to help. But what we will provide for them are toys for children 0 to 12. Okay. And then we'll provide a box of food, a holiday meal that they can cook at home by themselves for Christmas. And we'll be able to, the week before Christmas, we have a distribution center out by Office Depot here on Burnside.
Oh, okay.
And we'll be distributing those items to all the families who have signed up. So what we do is, after the families sign up for our program, we check their IDs, we check their proof of address, and make sure that they exist and that they're below the poverty guidelines. And then we take that information, what sizes the kids wear, what they want for Christmas, you know, what size shoes they wear if they need shoes, what size coat they wear. You can buy clothing for them, you can buy toys for them, and then we take that tag and we take that to a business in town like US Bank or one of the many angel trees that we have around the community. And then shoppers can just simply go into those stores and those retail outlets and those businesses and pick an angel off the tree. You'll know what size that they wear and everything. Go take it down to the store and buy items for those things. Return it to the spot where you got it from. And then we'll tape that angel to the package. And we will make certain that toys and gifts get to that
family.
child.
That's wonderful.
So every kid has something on Christmas morning to open up.
Are these? Do you wrap the presents or leave them unwrapped?
We do not.
We do not.
Right.
If I were to take an angel off the tree, I would leave it unwrapped.
Leave it unwrapped.
Yes,
and
okay.
what we will do is we will give it to the family unwrapped. And we have some people that donate wrapping supplies, and we're able to give those wrapping supplies to the family.
right.
We don't have all of them. Sometimes they just get toys.
Yeah. Well, and I'm sure
they're
I'm sure they're happy as can be. Okay, tell me about the Salvation Army Food Pantry.
Okay, that's called our Family Services Program.
Okay.
And our food pantry is open at the facility at 194th and Stark. We've just grown this year. Last summer, we built a modular unit in the back of the parking lot to expand because there wasn't enough space in that small facility in front. So we've got a new facility. It's not permanent. It's only meant to be there about 3 years' time. Okay. And when the capital campaign's done and we break ground, then we'll be able to close that facility.
So the capital campaign's going to take care of that.
It's going to finish that. Yeah. So about 170 families per week. We're open Tuesday through Friday from 9 to 12 and 1 to 3. And families will come in simply for food. They'll come in for clothing. They'll come in for furniture vouchers. We use the Salvation Army thrift stores. We can't keep a large supply of clothing and furniture available. And so what we do is we have a voucher to give to the family. They take it there and they go shopping. And then we keep we give a 3-day supply of food to keep a family alive because their food stamps ran out or they're waiting for their check to come in or something. Just something to tide them over.
Everybody, well, not everybody, but a lot of people get in that situation at some time or another in their lives. Where
Absolutely.
They just need a little extra help.
And because of the economy and the high unemployment, they've been going to food banks like the Salvation Army.
Yeah. So we're already almost out of time. Tell me what else I need to know about what's going on with the Salvation Army this holiday season.
Well, it's generally mostly about kettles and the angel tree in the stores and the red kettle kickoff coming and that event. We're also going to do a capital campaign drive at that event. We're hoping with the event on Tuesday, next Tuesday, that we can raise more dollars to help close that gap. We called it Building a Bridge to the Center of Hope because our campaign, we're calling that facility the Center of Hope here in Gresham.
I like that. I like that. Well, I'm delighted that you're there in the Rockwood area. It's a perfect fit. You're doing a terrific job. It's a nice facility, and you do great work. So, good job.
We just love working with the kids. I mean, we could tell you story after story about the families and the children that are coming in. And some of the kids have just simply said to our staff or to our volunteers, "This is my favorite place in the whole world." You think they'd be talking about Disneyland.
Yeah.
All we do is simply provide a board game or someone to help them with their homework.
But a safe
place
being there. Where people are nice to them.
That's right.
And they feel wanted and welcomed.
We have some crazy kids. We get some difficult kids.
I'm
and
sure
we
you get
love
all kinds.
our kids.
Yeah.
We really love our kids. My wife came in as a result of a Salvation Army Youth Center, just like the one that we operate.
Really?
And it was in the Dalles, Oregon, and that's her first, she was 11 years old, and she walked into the Salvation Army and they had a game room.
Wow.
And as a result, the people at that Salvation Army loved her, and she has been in the Salvation Army for the last 35 years.
Wow, that's a great story. Well, thank you, James. I'm delighted that you're here to share this. This thing is wiggling all over and it's driving me crazy.
Well, I can give it to you and you can fill it up and bring it back next Tuesday.
Okay. With all my money? I'd have to go collecting, wouldn't I? Well, thank you. Thank you very much for being on here. And I hope this is a great success. And, you know, I'll see if I can get to your Red Kettle kickoff. That would be fun.
Sounds
I'd
great.
like that. So if people want more information, they can go to your website. I think we'll have the information up on the screen. They can call. But keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thanks for being here. If you're interested in finding out more about the Salvation Army, you want to donate, you want to volunteer, you want to take advantage of some of the services they provide, then please go to their website or give them a call. They're there to help you, and they're a great asset to our community. This is our first segment of Community Hotline. Don't go away. We'll be right back with Nuts and Bolts Theater.
Everyone needs a helping hand at some time or another.
A hand up, not a handout.
Who would you turn to if you couldn't pay your rent and were facing eviction?
Who would help you if your power got turned off?
Who would you call if you didn't have anywhere to sleep?
You may not need help, but someone out there does.
Help families in need in your community. Call Human Solutions.
Human Solutions.
503-548-0200.
Does your school have an art program? Have you ever thought about the importance of art education? Through art, students uncover unique ways to understand the world around them. Through art, students discover different approaches to learning. Through art, students can reveal their full potential. Art does have a place in schools. To learn more about art advocacy and how to help prevent art from being brushed aside, contact the Oregon Art Education Association.
A place to grow,
To learn.
To be happy.
To interact.
To play.
To observe.
To live. Parks enhance the health and quality of life in our communities. Support your local parks. People for Parks, East County.
The League of Women Voters makes history.
Our country would not be the same without their dedication.
Formed by women who organized to win women the right to vote.
It is now a co-ed organization.
Studying, informing, and acting.
Nonpartisan.
Grassroots.
Influential.
Taking political stands on many issues.
The League of Women Voters encourages all citizens to be informed and active in government. Join the League of Women Voters of East Multnomah County in making history today.
Volunteers are the cornerstone of local communities, and they enjoy the satisfaction that comes from being part of something larger than themselves. Multnomah County invites citizens to participate in projects that benefit the greater good of our residents.
No matter where your interests lay, there is a volunteer opportunity for you. From helping families through hard times, to working on a citizen advisory board, to making your neighborhood the place you want to live. The opportunities are endless.
Through offering your time and talents, you can help provide programs and services that benefit all of us. You have the potential to make Multnomah County a better place to work, play, and live.
Volunteering builds skills, provides insight into professions, and engages people in important actions. It shapes both you and your community. Plus, volunteering is fun.
To get involved, contact the Office of Citizen Involvement. Go to citizenweb.org. Shape your community. Volunteer.
Hi, I'm Luke Perry. You're watching Metro East. Over 25 years of great community media.
reach is limited. No matter how great our intentions, on our own, we can only stretch so far. But at Rotary, we believe the right group of people working together can make our communities, our world, a better place. Rotary, humanity in motion.
Hi, and welcome back to Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel, and we're here at Metro East Community Media. Now I have the pleasure of bringing Nuts and Bolts Theater to you. Have with us Kelly Lazenby and Justin Lazenby, husband and wife team, artistic director and actor, right? Okay. So you two are Nuts and Bolts Theater.
We are.
You are.
Yeah.
Pretty much. We're it.
You are it.
It's 6 years now.
Wow.
Yeah.
And so those who may not know about Nuts and Bolts, tell us where it is and what it's all about.
Well, we perform out at the Boring Damascus Grange Hall, right off of Highway 212. And we have 5 shows a year. We usually do a couple of kids' productions as well. And we've started doing summer camp, which has been very successful. Right. But we love it. It's just something that we both enjoy together, so it's perfect.
Yeah, that's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you do good work.
We do. We like to think so anyway, yes.
So the summer camp, who is that for?
It's for kids, usually between 8 and 14, and they have 2 weeks of camp, for a couple hours a day, and then they perform.
Oh, so, fun. Yeah. And that's gone well.
Yeah.
Nice. You gonna keep that up?
Well, it's been 2 summers so far, so we'll see. But
okay.
As long as they keep coming, we'll keep doing it.
They do. They keep signing up.
Yeah.
So what are the productions that you've done this year?
Let's see. We just finished doing a comedy called A Bad Year for Tomatoes. And then we did a little Halloween fundraiser, which actually was very fun. It was 3 different readings of kind of scary thrillers. We did Sorry, Wrong Number, The Raven, and The Monkey's Paw. And we also had a lot of kind of Halloween games and a costume booth and all kinds of things.
What was that a fundraiser for?
It was a fundraiser for a curtain. We're trying to get a professional stage curtain put in the space that we have. And they're quite expensive.
That would be helpful. I bet
Not
they
just
are.
something you can write a check for. So yeah.
You just don't whip out your wallet. And,
exactly.
Not so much.
Yeah, so we're about halfway there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good. Well, that sounds like it was fun. Yeah. And so you said you do 5 productions
We
a
do,
year?
and so the next one coming up is the one that we're here to talk about a little bit. It's called Jacob Marley's Christmas Carol. And ever since we started Nuts and Bolts, we've been doing some version of a Christmas Carol. It's kind of our tradition that we have.
How many versions of a Christmas Carol are there?
There are unlimited numbers of them. Yeah, it's amazing.
So what have you done in the past?
We did at Marylhurst University, we did a Christmas Carol with the music department, and we performed at their old chapel up in the rafters.
So
and
it was
all
a musical?
kinds of everything. Yes, we had songs and carols. And
yeah, it kind of was. We worked with the music director and with their choir. So most of the performers.
I bet that was a great
performance.
It was
very fun.
Great. It was beautiful music.
I bet it was.
And, it was wonderful.
Yeah, and then in the first year they had the tree lighting out at Boring. We did a 15-minute Christmas Carol, which was very fun. It's the 3 of us doing.
How do you pack that into 15 minutes?
It actually worked.
It compressed very well. Yeah. 3 people do all the parts.
You got all the nuances. It was good. And then we did a version of A Christmas Carol with the adult was Scrooge and everyone else was kids. Oh. So, and that was quite lovely. And then we've done a reading of this particular. It started out with just the book. This was just like a storybook, and we started out with a reading. And so that was kind of. We really liked the reading a lot. Justin did all the voices.
Kind of production?
Yeah, kind of like storytelling. Yeah. And then we decided there's a 4-actor version of the story, and we decided why not mount a full production of the show, and so that's what we're doing this year.
So who all is starring in this production?
Let's see, we have Justin Lazenby.
Oh, that would be you.
That would be he, and then we also have Curtis Hanson and Megan Murphy-Ruckman and Scott Castor. So there's 4.
Lovely. And Megan was on here not too long ago, last month, I believe, and she was as a director. So we're going to have the pleasure of seeing her act. You are. We all get to switch. We all get to switch around in theater. It's great. And I'm directing. This is my turn to direct. You're the director.
Yes, and I don't get to direct adults very often, so this is kind of a treat for me. Yeah.
So how is it directing kids? What's that like?
With directing kids, you know, it's funny. It's sort of easier than adults because kids don't argue. they just kind of willingly go wherever they're supposed to go, and yeah.
Wow. You don't ever argue with her, do you?
Never.
No, I didn't think so. Okay. We know who's right.
But yeah, so it's going to be very fun.
So when is this going to take place?
It's opening December the 9th. And it will play on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays in the evenings at 7:30. And then we're also going to do a matinee on Saturdays at 3 p.m.
Good.
So there'll be
So how many performances will you do?
8 performances total.
And then you'll be ready to...
Yes, and then we'll have our Christmas break.
Yes. Good.
Yes, and then we hit the ground running with our next show after that, which will be The Odd Couple. So
oh,
then,
how fun.
Yeah.
Are you? No, you can't be The Odd Couple. It's
Justin is in it.
I'm half of
I'm
The
also,
Odd
I
Couple.
get to direct that one as well.
Do you?
Yes.
Oh, good. You just like to tell what to do, I know. So, Justin, what's your favorite thing about being involved with Nuts and Bolts? Do you ever direct, or you only act, or?
I do. I directed the comedy we just did, A Bad Year for Tomatoes.
Oh, okay.
I've directed several shows.
Yeah.
I think I like the fact that we're small. We're very simple. As you grow as a theater company, you involve more people, more personalities, more challenges, more budget, more. It kind of complicates things.
Yeah. It probably takes away a lot of the fun.
I
mean, as the ones who are in charge of the whole thing. As an actor, it maybe not, but I would imagine as being the ones this is your theater group. So I can imagine how it could take that away.
I think the reason why we keep doing it too is because they really, the community really likes it, and we feel like the community really needs it.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure.
People tell us all the time, thank you for being in Boring, and thank you for
Isn't
being
that
out
great?
here, and yeah.
Now, did you start out in Boring? Do you live in Boring?
No, we live in Gresham, but it's really only about 10
It's not far.
minutes.
No, it's not far.
It's closer than most people think.
Yeah.
That's our main thing. People think Boring, but really
it's not far at all.
Yeah.
That's actually really pretty out there.
Yeah.
So you have a good response from the community there.
We do. Yeah.
We actually said that we would keep the company going as long as we could maintain it, based on the lint in our pockets. And people keep coming, and we've maintained the theater based almost wholly on ticket sales.
Wow.
We're able to hang in there.
Yeah, and
that's got to be tough sometimes.
Sometimes
especially times lately have been pretty tight, and do people still come up with money though for the what some people might consider a luxury, even though it really should just be a part of life, the arts?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, our tickets are $10, so we haven't really changed our prices ever. I mean, when I go to theater downtown, it's $44. So it's like,
we're
that's
affordable.
a luxury to me. Yeah.
You're right.
Yeah.
And worth every penny, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
We like to think so. We put our hearts and souls into it.
We really do.
Yeah.
Well, I bet you do. This is full-time work, right?
It is, and we both have full-time. Well, we both work too.
This is
do you?
our
I was
night
wondering
job.
about that. If you do, you both have full-time jobs?
This is our hobby. Yeah.
What do you do?
I teach after school. I teach mad science and theater for Northwest Children's Theater. So I teach classes.
Science.
Yes.
Okay, the theater. Yeah. What is Mad Science?
Mad Science is a company that makes science fun for kids.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, and so I get to do school assemblies and birthday parties and teach after school for an hour, once a week at certain schools. So it's fun.
So you're a mad scientist.
I am.
Exactly.
I'm mad about science. Yes.
I love that. That's
but
great.
there's a theater element to that.
Well,
as
I was going to say, you're.
I think for my lab coat, and it'll be really fun.
What about you, Justin?
I am a forensic scientist with the state police. I have been with the state police since 2004.
I never knew that about you.
There you go.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
And for the last 3 years, I've been doing computer forensics with the FBI. There's a task force and a crime lab that the FBI runs, a computer lab downtown. And I've been doing computer forensics for 3 years.
Wow.
And I love it.
Do you?
Yeah. Oh, it's a great
job. He's got a job he loves and a passion.
He gets to use both sides of his brain.
Yeah, yes.
I do. I get a workout every day.
That's wonderful. Well, tell me a little bit about Jacob Marley's Christmas Carol. What's different about this production than other
Jacob Marley's Christmas Carol is, of course, everyone knows the story of A Christmas Carol, but this is... Jacob Marley, of course, was Scrooge's partner. And the story starts out with Jacob Marley being in this place. He has no idea where he is. And he figures out that he has died, and he has a lot of
sort of bills to pay because he wasn't as good as he could have been. Right. And so one of the things that he has to do in order to redeem himself and go on to a better place is that he has to redeem someone else. And so, of course, they've decided that his project will be his friend and partner Scrooge. So Marley has to try and redeem Scrooge. And so then we
Which
kind
is
of
quite the task.
Right. And so we kind of pick up in the story where we know about, you know, Marley comes and he haunts Scrooge, but there's a lot more to it than that. It's very, I don't know, sort of whimsical and kind of like a fairy tale mixed in with this very classic story.
It's a great sort of backstage view of A Christmas Carol, the original version. You know, everybody knows Scrooge and, you know, meeting the three ghosts and you know, his redemption.
Tiny Tim and all that.
Yeah. And you see Jacob Marley in the original, and he's, you know, fettered in chains and everything. It's A Christmas Carol from Jacob Marley's point of view, from the point of view of the ghost.
That's great.
Yeah.
I can tell you both like it, don't you?
Oh, yeah. It's a very
fun.
well written. Yeah, it's really good.
How do you choose the productions that you're going to put on?
I do a lot of reading. And we decide probably about, I don't know, 6-7 months before the next season starts. But I try to find a good balance of things that people will enjoy and things that we like as well. And we always like to make our plays sort of fun for everybody, like they're, you know, kind of family friendly. Like a kid would enjoy this just as much as an adult would.
That's right.
Because we want kids to come to theater too, you know, that's the thing.
Right, right.
And again, part of the advantage of being nuts and bolts and being kind of small is when we're talking about what shows we want to do, it's not gathering a huge committee of people. It's, hey, what do you think we should do?
And what do you do? Flip a coin as to who directs that one, or what?
Yeah,
along those lines. Yeah, if there's a part one of us really wants, okay, I'll direct that one. You can be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to be watching a scene.
We are
from this. So set this up for me, if you would.
The scene is when Jacob Marley realizes that he is going to be helped out in his quest by a little imp that sort of is an angel, imp, fairy kind of person that lives in his ear. And it's called a bogle, and the bogle is going to help him through his journey to try and change Scrooge's heart, I guess you should say. So
to redeem him.
In this particular scene, the bogle is going to explain kind of who he is and what's happening to Marley.
And who's playing?
And Justin's playing Marley, and Megan is playing the bogle. And I am there to help just because there was one little piece that we couldn't cut out, so I'm going to be
a third voice.
A narrator. Yes.
Okay.
Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Well, we'll take a break now, and then we'll be back with that. So don't go away. You don't want to miss this. We'll be right back with Justin and Kelly Lazenby and Megan Murphy-Ruckman, and excuse me, we'll be watching a scene from Jacob Marley's Christmas Carol, I had to think. Jacob Marley's Christmas Carol. So we'll be right back in just a moment.
Thank you.
Free GED classes.
Are you ready? Clases gratis de inglés.
Yo estoy lista.
Transportation for free.
I'm ready. Clases gratis de computación. ¿Qué listos?
We're ready.
Come to Listos. If we can do it, you can do it.
What am I supposed to do with all these corks?
Turn them into a cork board.
What about all these floppy disks?
How about a fantastic journal?
I wouldn't learn how to make cool things like that.
Well, come on down to Scrap. Scrap has monthly workshops where you too can learn how to make great things. We provide everything you need. For more information, call 503-294-0769 or go to www.scrapaction.org. Scrap. Create more, consume less.
Many people are aware of the problems of hunger and poverty, but few realize how severe these issues are in East County. Every winter we find hungry and homeless people on our streets. Here at Snowcap, we combat these problems by bringing together the people who have with those who have not. Snowcap is a nonprofit organization dedicated to serving the needs of low-income persons living in the East Metro area. With the help of community members and the support of local businesses, SnowCap feeds over 4,000 people per month and distributes clothing to more than 1,000 people per month. You can help SnowCap by donating your time, donating food or clothing, or making a financial contribution. To find out more, contact SnowCap at 503-674-8785 or on the web at www.snowcap.org.
Volunteers are the cornerstone of local communities, and they enjoy the satisfaction that comes from being part of something larger than themselves. Multnomah County invites citizens to participate in projects that benefit the greater good of our residents.
Help provide services to thousands of your neighbors. Sound impossible? 1,700 members of your community are already doing this, and so much more, by volunteering with Multnomah County Library.
Library volunteers help their neighbors by teaching computer skills, shelving materials, and promoting literacy in the community. The library provides a wide array of services, including lending popular books and DVDs, computer access, and life-enriching activities.
Give a neighbor a helping hand and spend a couple hours a week at the library, making your community a better place.
To find out more about this volunteer opportunity, visit their website. To explore other volunteer opportunities, contact the Office of Citizen Involvement. Shape your community.
Vienna Star was my guardian angel when my life was in shambles. They helped me find counseling and shelter.
Vienna Star is great. They helped us pay our utility bills.
And find health resources.
I'm in college now because Vienna Star helped me find scholarships so I could put myself through school.
Call 503-823-4000 to find out if Vienna Star can help you.
Gracias, Vienna Star.
This is the story about a group of kids who volunteered.
Doing something nice for someone. We fixed stuff. Did some art projects with the kids. We fixed up his house. We worked in the woods. Cleaned up the park.
Did something for the planet.
We just did it.
No other reason.
And you know what? It was great.
At first, they didn't know each other.
Well, that didn't last long.
This guy is really funny.
Me? These are my new friends.
Are you into it? Call 4-H or check out our website at areyouintoit.com.
When disaster strikes, emergency professionals may be overwhelmed. Can you care for yourself and loved ones until help arrives? Can you help neighbors amidst the chaos? Are you ready? Get ready. Join a community emergency response team and learn skills that will save lives. The City of Gresham offers free CERT training. Sign up for the next class and get ready.
What is it like to have a loved one die? Each month, over 300 children and teens who have experienced a death turn to the Dougie Center for Grieving Children. Inside, they find a safe place where they can share their experiences and move through the grieving process.
The programs at the Dougie Center are funded by private donations. Thank you for making it possible for kids like me to attend groups free of charge.
The Dougie Center, because grief comes in all sizes.
Oh, the bells of hell go ting-a-ling-a-ling.
Marley awoke. Someone was singing in his ear. Literally in his ear. The buzzing seemed to be coming from his right ear, as if something had crawled in there while he was unconscious.
When was the last time you cleaned in here, old prune? Disgusting. We must have some discussions about hygiene.
Oh, Marley hopped about with his finger in his ear trying to dislodge the offender.
If you take your bloody finger out of my front hallway, I'll come out.
Marley did.
A tiny imp made all of light about the size of a raisin flew out of Marley's ear and floated in the air before him.
Marley swatted at the offender, trying to, with no visible effect, except to set the little man dancing in a vulgar way.
It's no good swinging at me, I'm afraid. You'll just tangle up your chains, and they're the very devil to undo.
Who the hell are you?
Who the hell do I look like? Do you think I choose to look like this, given a choice?
Well, you look like me.
Brilliant! Eternity's going to be a long, long time.
So, are you some sort of devil sent to torment me?
Oh, devil is such a hurtful word, don't you think? And imprecise. The correct terminology is Newman or genius, but the word I prefer is bogle. That's B-O-G-L-E. Bogle. But I want you to think of me as your welcoming committee, your guide to your new home.
I thank you for your consideration. Good day.
Where are we going?
We are not going anywhere. Don't you have some pressing business that demands your presence elsewhere?
Nope. You are my business, old pudding. Bound together we are, I'm afraid, conjoined and conjunct, and birds of a feather, peas in a pod, Siamese twins.
Marley ground his teeth a bit. He was beginning to appreciate the idea of damnation. What now?
We could do the grand tour, you know, poke about, get the feel of the place. After all, you're going to be here a long, long time. Dante had it wrong. His sinners were operatic, betrayers of empires, pederastic popes. It's not like that at all. At least, it wasn't until you got here.
All around Marley, beings of nightmare floated by on the currents of the air, like exotic sea creatures. Marley felt like he was imprisoned in some sort of hellish aquarium. One man was chained to a pack of yapping dogs. Another to a dining table piled high with rotting food. Another to flame-like images of ladies laughing, their mouths open, showing rotten teeth. Yet what really horrified Marley were the creatures that were no longer human, yet still lived.
Wardrobes and treasure boxes with hands and faces that called to him, beckoning. He saw a woman, a lady of society that he had had some business dealings with. She was draped in jewels, nearly covered in them, but as she floated past him, nodding a greeting,
Marley realized that her necklaces and bangles
were growing from her, had gnawed their way into her skin, and the flesh around them was sore and ragged looking.
Yes, they grow together eventually. Each becomes the things he loves, in a way. By the way, you look fine as an animated pile of sovereigns and loose change and things. Oh, there. Oh, come, let's see some more. It's not all like this. Of course, it's not all like this. It's worse.
The worst was the topmost level. Here the anguish became silence and darkness and cold. And here each soul was completely and utterly alone. This was the level of despair. And from here, souls blinked out, disappeared, as if a very small, dim candle had finally guttered out.
Where do they go?
Don't know, old thing. Nobody talks about it much. Maybe nowhere.
You mean they just vanish and reappear?
No, I mean they go nowhere. They cease to exist, become no thing.
Sounds like a relief.
You might think that now, but no. This rejection, utter annihilation, it's never discussed. Let's get out of here, eh? Well, how do you like your new home? Something the matter?
Oh, go away.
Oh, not letting this depress you, are you? I do have something else to show you. Come.
No! No more. Show me where I am to go and I'll stay there, but leave me alone.
Sorry to insist, old pustule, but come you must. We're going home. It was London on a crisp market morning at the fish market in Billingsgate. The streets and alleys close by the river filled with shouting, whistling, singing and swearing men. The tremendous noise they made, the confusion, the din was awesome and in a way somehow splendid and grand. Disgusting, ain't it? Messy. How can they live like that? Each in each other's face, each in each other's business, like some big, damn noisy, meddling, intrusive family.
Why are we here? I don't see what's to be gained here. I've seen all this before.
Have you?
Yes.
Well, perhaps you never noticed this.
Oh. Marley felt a bit dizzy, and as he blinked hard to clear his vision, the population before him doubled, tripled. For beside every man there stood a spirit, if not 2 or 3. Some watching in horror, others bemused, others laughing, helping, whispering words of encouragement, all interested, caring, all intensely involved.
Crowded, what?
What are they doing?
Nothing, most of them. Spectators at the cricket match, cheering up the home team, offering a little help occasionally. Bright idea, kind word, pat on the back.
Did I have help, companions like that?
Legions. You were a special project. At one time, there were literally 138 angels dancing on the head of your particular pin. But you outlasted them. Finally, they all got discouraged and went on to other more promising projects, axe murderers and the like. Unfortunately, I was stuck.
Well, I never asked for your help. Consider yourself unstuck. If you're so unhappy, begone. Oh, begone. I liberate you. Trouble yourself no longer. You're free.
Not so easy, old pudding. I'm here for the duration. I'm yours. Let's go for a walk. And walk they did. Through the streets and alleys towards the center of town, sometimes floating above the crowd, sometimes on the ground among them.
Sometimes Marley stopped before a particular face, studying it, as if trying to read something in a foreign tongue.
Once they stopped before a little girl. Pink and pretty despite her dirt and cast-off rage, sitting on a doorstep, singing quietly to the baby in her arms.
Marley stood before her for a good while. He was quite surprised when...
She looked up at him, and their eyes met. And for a moment she considered him solemnly, and then returned her attention to the child in her arms.
Marley found this unsettling.
Yes, some of them can see us a little, or know that we're here.
Marley frowned and was silent. They moved on.
They arrived at the great square before St. Paul's. Come, bet you've never seen it from up here. And the two of them floated up and up, finally reaching the perch of the cathedral's great dome to look down at the square below. The city was awesome, spread out before them as far as the eye could see. Red clouds to the west, catching the last of the sun's rays. A couple of stars shining faintly in the east, night coming on. From where they watched, the square teemed with figures.
Like ants, insects.
You would say that. Seem small, do they? Trivial, insignificant.
No, that's not it. They seem so temporary. Each thinking they're going to live forever, not knowing that. Yet cheerful, sort of brave in a way.
Whistling in the graveyard, eh? Well, that's the truth. Watch this.
Oh. Marley saw, standing beside every man, woman, and child in the square, a tall figure, all in black, robed and hooded, with its face hidden. Who is that?
Don't you recognize him? You had a visit from him not so very long ago.
You mean?
Exactly.
Oh. Are they there all the time?
Every day. From first to last, that figure walks beside every man on the globe.
And they never see him until...
Mm-hmm. Until it's time.
Ah.
Changes things a bit, don't it? Probably a lot of them would do things a bit differently if they knew what walked beside them.
Perhaps.
Catching your throat? Getting a cold?
Oh, shut up.
Oh. They returned to the spirit world.
And Marley sat mid-air, gloomily rubbing at a place on his wrist where one of the chains had begun to burrow itself into the skin. So, what do I do now?
What do you mean?
So now I just stay here until I look like one of them?
Up to you, old crumpet.
You speak as though I have a choice.
You do?
What? I thought I was here forever.
Well, you can stay if you like. Most people do. But
You mean I don't have to stay? For the first time in a great while, Marley's face lit up with a kind of hope.
No, you're not stuck. No one is stuck anywhere. It's just that certain places are harder to...
Do you mean we don't have to stay here?
No.
Well, how do we get out?
You apply for a transfer, of course.
Wasn't that terrific? That was Justin and Kelly Lazenby and Megan Murphy-Ruckman doing Jacob Marley's Christmas Carol. Thank you for presenting that to us. That was wonderful. It's a great way to get in the spirit of the holiday season. So don't be a stranger. Come back next week. We're going to be talking next week with Friends of Trees. We're going to talk about the Spirit of Christmas event here in Gresham and the Metro Toy Drive. We'll be talking with Metro Toy Drive's Child Hero. So thank you for watching this episode of Community Hotline. My name is Monica Weitzel. We're here at Metro East, and I'll see you next week.
Katie won't be at ballet. She's sick today. No, Katie won't be at ballet. She's sick today. No, Katie won't be at ballet. She's sick today.
When your child gets sick with the usual illnesses an unusual number of times, look for a pattern.
She's sick today.
It could be an immune deficiency called PI. Get the warning signs.
If you are experiencing physical, emotional, or sexual abuse, help is available.
I'm scared. He's been beating on me.
If you need help, or if you want to help stop domestic abuse, call our crisis line at 503-281-2442. You don't have to be alone. Make a call that could save your life. Bradley Englehouse, providing hope and safety for more than 30 years.
This may look like just a meal to you. To an elderly person in your community, Meals on Wheels is a social and nutritional lifeline. Many seniors can't leave their homes to buy food and have no family nearby. Sometimes their Meals on Wheels driver is the only other person they see all day. It takes just a few hours to help deliver much more than a meal. To find out how you can help, call 503-736-6325.
Who got some good minutes in the first half, hits the jumper. Tiffany Young, a junior from Hillsboro, Alabama, has 4. Young, 17-footer, got it. And Tiffany Young with a sensational performance.
You know, we sing for millions of girls, but helping out in schools, that's the real deal, baby.
I know our love can multiply, 'cause you're the X and I'm the Y.
You know what I'm saying? So, have you ever been backstage before?
Okay, guys, this is an abacus, an old school calculator. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Like the circle and the square, our geometry is a perfect pair.
Now, why should kids know about gravity?
Well, gravity holds them down. I once was one, but now we're two. I'm spinning out of control.